Thank you for that, Sharif. We'd now like to introduce Miss Amelie Sun. She is our Early Years Counselor supporting our youngest learners at AISG. As a registered psychotherapist, Miss Sun holds 2 master's degrees in psychology. She brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to her work with both children and adults, helping them navigate life's challenges and foster emotional well-being. Perhaps the most heartwarming endorsement of her work comes from her children, Noah and Luca. They often proudly announce to their friends, "Do you know that our school counselor, Miss Sun, is actually my mom?" It always gives her a smile on the face, and she hopes this sense of pride of her kids can last as long as it needs to be. She will now present her talk, Listen to the Voice from Inside.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to see you all here. For people who don't know me yet, my name is Amelie Sun. I'm the Early Years Counselor at AISG. For people who know me already, don't worry, I'm still Amelie. So in our small part of the school, we spend our days talking about feelings, kindness, and how to be a good friend. We draw pictures of our families, and we build towers just to see what's going to happen if we try something new. Sometimes we also talk about what do we want to be when we get older. The answers are always fascinating. A dinosaur, a rainbow unicorn vet, a superhero with a lot of gummy bears in the pocket. So there's no limitation to our imaginations. However, as we get older, the question shifts a little. It changes from what do you love to what do you want to be? Well, the path seems a little bit straighter. Today, I would like to talk about that path and the courage to bend it a little. So our theme is Dare to Bend. To me, it means listening to that small voice inside of you, even when the louder world suggests a different direction. I would like to share a story about a time that I listened to and trusted that small voice inside of me. Many years ago, I held 2 pieces of paper that many considered as symbols of achievement. One is an offer to study at the University of Oxford in international relations, and another one is to study finance at Imperial College London. So I felt really lucky, and my parents were really proud, as if I had reached that finish line everybody had pointed me toward since childhood. So I was born in a city called Hunan Changsha in China. I went to public local schools for my elementary and secondary school. My parents worked at the airport of the city I was born. So in my culture, and maybe many of you and your parents may feel the same, that there has been a very strong value put on education and achievement. It comes from the love and the desire for security and respect. So studying finance or international relations seems prestigious, and it offers a clear path to making an impact. And also, it's easier to explain at family and friends gatherings. In the proud eyes of my auntie and uncles, they're like, "Oh, Oxford, your parents can finally rest." However, instead of that excitement, I felt a little bit more weight on my shoulder, as if there's very clear path being put in front of me, but my heart is calling me somewhere else. My heart pulled me into a field that is less about the grand system, but more about the people within it. Psychology, especially social and cultural psychology, and how we can apply it to counseling. So choosing to walk away from those paths was quite hard, because those are not opportunities for myself. Those are also a validation of my parents' expectations and what they did for me. So choosing to bend my path feels like, it feels like a rejection of my parents' sacrifice. And also, as someone who's very young, my options seem to be limited by another kind of boundary, a boundary of uncertainty. As someone who's young and have a clear path in front of me, stepping off that path felt like stepping into a void. What if I was wrong? What if psychology is just a passing feeling? Am I really ready for that? So bend my path meant carrying that weight, that confusion from people I know, and some potential disappointment from my parents, and also my own fear of uncertainty. But I paused at that moment. I asked myself, am I doing this for just because it is expected or because of who I am? What are those things that really spark my curiosity and my passion? So I decided I'm not going to spend just a couple of years studying a glamorous major and at a glamorous campus, but spending the rest of my life doubting my choice. Eventually, I chose to study psychology at LSE to understand the human brain, to understand why we feel and act the way we are. That also connects to being a registered psychotherapist in Canada, and also connect to those little cushions, chairs, kitchen stations, little toys in my counseling room at AISG, Early Years Division. So today, I still use my choices that I made years ago. When a 4-year-old struggles to share, I don't think about global economics. I think about people's developing brain. When the little ones struggle to feel their big feelings, when they're overwhelmed by their big feelings, I draw on signs of feelings and try to help them find their own calm. I bend my path to understand people, one heart and one mind at a time. I help our youngest student to find their own emotional compasses so one day they can navigate their own path. So this is my story of Dare to Bend. It is not about choosing a specific path. It's more about listening to that voice, that even small voice inside of you, and dare to make some changes. We have countless opportunities to write and rewrite our stories. The key question here is not what will you do, but more who are you being as you do it. So what story do you want to write today? Thank you.